right, guys.
Let's go.
I'm thinking chicken. We can keep it warm. It's going to stay juicy. I definitely was thinking polenta to go with.
Okay.
I need to stake my claim in this competition as somebody who's strong, willful. What are some vegetable options?
Carrots go great with chicken and polenta.
I love it. And listens to the people on their team.
What about a sauce? We can do the nice citrus glaze. I love
Gorgeous.
that. Yeah.
And truly communicates effectively. You're going to be helping Jamie with the chicken, Sarah. Dorian, roasted carrots. Suba, you're going to be on polenta. I'm going to be checking in with you.
Got it.
And then I'm going to be working on that citrus glaze. Red team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Red team!
Right, Micah, describe the dish.
We have a herb chicken with roasted carrots, a goat cheese polenta, and a citrus glaze.
So visually it looks nice. Carrots look a bit undercooked.
A little bit too much crunch in them. Yeah, they're still a little bit raw.
Right.
So who made the polenta?
Jamie.
The polenta's good. It's cooked well. It needs more fat. It needs more goat cheese. It needs to be lifted up, okay?
Who cooked the chicken?
That would be Sarah. First, she put grill marks on it, and then she finished it in the oven.
The chicken cook is beautiful.
All right.
Up the seasoning, okay? And just get that polenta richer.
Someone has to take care of the seasoning. Spice up the chicken, fatten up the polenta, get it right, make it yours, own it, and then own the responsibility of it.
Yes, Joe.
Good start, though. On your
Thank
way.
you, Chef. All right, guys. Team meeting right here. Sarah, they said the cook was excellent, but they want a little bit more spice, a little bit more seasoning.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Maybe just a little bit of cayenne. Bring it up.
Okay, I don't think we have cayenne, but I'll check.
They have Cajun seasoning back there too.
Cajun.
Just a little
Just a
bit.
smidget, just to give it a little taste.
The carrots are just a little underdone.
Okay.
And then Jamie, they just want a little bit more butter and more goat cheese, but they said that this was a really excellent dish, and I'm confident that we're going in the right direction.
Okay,
Let's be consistent.
Okay, here we go.
We need 4 more plates, Suba. 4 more plates.
Hey, this is the last of the chicken? Yes, Sarah, that's it. Sarah, guess what? What? We're done, baby.
Which one do you think has better flavor? You tasted the chicken. You like the chicken. What do you like about it?
It's just got really good flavor to it.
Seasoned well?
Seasoned very well.
The team that will not face elimination. The team that we judge to be best.
What's about to happen?
The winning team is... the red team.
Hey guys, welcome to Primetime Bites. On today's episode, we're going to cover MasterChef Season 10, Episode 16, where the red team made herb roasted chicken, some goat cheese polenta, roasted carrots, and an orange citrus glaze. The judges only gave minimal feedback. Everything was fairly positive, and most people seemed to really love this dish. They won, and we're going to recreate it here now. First, we need to make the orange glaze because we're going to toss the carrots in those in a little bit. We're going to start off with 1 tablespoon of orange zest. We're going to take 2 oranges, slice them in half, and we're going to juice those. It'll be roughly a cup of orange juice. No need to measure it out. We're just eyeballing it from here. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of chicken stock. After that, we're going to add 1/8 cup of apple cider vinegar. Then we're going to go into the brown sugar. We're going to do a 1/2 cup. For the honey, I hate getting my measuring cups dirty, so I'm going to eyeball about a 1/4 cup of honey here. Again, pour it out, eyeball it. Doesn't need to be exact. We're just trying to sweeten it up a little bit. Add 1 clove of minced garlic, and then finish it off with 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper. If you don't want it to be as spicy, you can cut that down to 1, and 1 tablespoon of butter. We're going to mix that together over medium-high heat until it comes to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, just cut it down, bring it to a simmer. Next, we're going to move on to the marinade for the chicken. So we're going to add a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Then we're going to take some rosemary and some thyme. We're going to pull them off the stem and then finally mince them. Moving on, we're going to go to parsley. In the episode, they didn't really cover too much about what herbs are. You could see the rosemary that they were working with, and in the background you could see the parsley. I put the thyme in here. They all seem to go together, so I added that as well. But we're going to put all of this in here. Again, measurements don't need to be exact. We're eyeballing it. We're going to coat the chicken in this here in a little bit. We're going to then add 2 cloves of minced garlic for this, and 2 teaspoons of Cajun seasoning. Again, the Cajun seasoning is not as spicy as the cayenne pepper. Once this was all said and done, I realized I did not have a video of me adding the lemon juice. or salt and pepper to this. So just add 1/2 of a lemon, squeeze it in there, and then add a dash of salt and some pepper, and you'll be good to go. Next, we're going to move on to the chicken itself. I'm using a whole chicken here. It's easier for me to get than chicken quarters, but if you have chicken quarters, just buy those if you want to. In this, I'm only going to break down the quarters. I'm going to break down the rest of the chicken later on. I'm also going to save that carcass to make some chicken stock as well. So if you want to, get a whole chicken, break it down, save the quarters for today's meal, and then put the wings, breast, and everything in the freezer or refrigerator and save it for tomorrow's meal. The carcass makes great stock, so you do want to save that. Don't toss that. Real easy to break down. Cut the skin right at the base of the thigh there. Break it and then cut it to joint. Just carve around the breast there and it pops right off. Real easy to get that quarter off the chicken. Now that we got our chicken quarter carved off of the full chicken, we're going to take some salt and pepper, gently season both sides. I really like to use kosher salt for just about everything. It makes it a little bit smoother. Pepper will, fresh ground pepper is always better. We're going to grab a little whisk and we're just going to mix up all the ingredients we added for the marinade a few minutes ago, just to make sure everything's well mixed and incorporated. You don't need to put too much effort into this. Then grab the chicken breast. We're going to toss it over a couple of times just to make sure we get everything covered and coated. We want to have a good foundation of oil and herbs on this. Grab your chicken quarter and put it skin side down on a smoking hot pan just long enough to get some grill marks. We're going to take it off and put it into the oven after that. While the chicken is roasted at 375 in the oven, we're going to go ahead and cut the tops off these carrots just to get them ready for a parboil. You can toss the carrots in the boiling water. I'll put mine top side down and leave the ends sticking out. I know this may be a little controversial, but I've found that having the tops boil and the bottoms not allows them to cook more evenly. Keeps you from having a crunchy top and a soggy bottom once you're done roasting them. Pull the carrots out of the boiling water, spread them on a sheet pan, and then we're going to toss everything with some of the orange glaze. The orange glaze doesn't have to be completely reduced down at this point. We're still going to cook the carrots in the oven as we roast them. So whatever stage your glaze is, pour just enough to cover them and then toss the carrots on the sheet pan to cover them completely. We're going to roast these for 20-ish minutes until they're fork tender. Now moving on to the polenta. We want to bring 3 cups of water to a boil. Once that is boiling, we're going to take 1 cup of polenta, also called corn grits depending on where you're at, and we're going to very slowly mix these in. So I start off with a whisk, as you can see here, and I mix the polenta in just a little bit at a time. You're really trying to avoid the polenta clumping up, which is why you're mixing it so slowly here. So just keep whisking and pouring slowly. You'll see it start to thicken up. It'll turn yellow. The boiling will slowly dissipate as more polenta is put into the batch. You want to keep stirring the polenta the whole time because it's overheat and you don't want the bottom of the polenta to burn. So you're going to keep stirring as the water evaporates and absorbs into the polenta until you get a nice thick mixture like you see here. You can kind of scrape the sides and you want it to slowly fill back in where you scrape from. And that's how you'll tell that the polenta is cooked enough. So we're going to try the polenta, and it's not quite cooked yet, but most of my water is evaporated at this point. So don't be scared to grab a little bit of water, pour some in there slowly as you stir to keep from clumping. You can add as much water as you need to get the polenta to where it's cooked and thick. If you saw in the show, one of Gordon's comments was the polenta wasn't rich enough. He wanted more butter. So here we're adding 2 tablespoons of butter just to boost the richness of the polenta a little bit. And then once that's melted, we're going to add in about 4 ounces of goat cheese. I'm eyeballing it here. I had a 6-ounce container that I had purchased. I put about 2/3 in there. And we're going to continue mixing that until the goat cheese is melted and the polenta is creamy. The color will lighten up a little bit and it'll still be thick. We don't want to overcook anything at this point. Add a little bit of salt. Again, mix that salt all the way through. Now for my favorite part. Let's plate this. I take the polenta, add a little bit on a spoon, and we're going to put it in the center of the plate. Slowly swirling the spoon around just to give it a little bit of texture and design on the plate. We just want to make sure it's evenly covered and everything looks good. And I dropped a little bit there, so we'll clean that up in a second. My carrots that I cooked are quite a bit larger than the ones they had on the show, so we're going to decorate them a little bit differently on the plate. I'm going to take one of each color and we're going to stack them somewhat circular, and we're also going to put them on top of each other just to give some height to the plate. Next, we're going to take our chicken thigh, put it on the plate kind of in the front, make sure that those beautiful grill marks are looking forward and everybody can see that. That's the first thing people are going to notice. Take some of that orange glaze, we're going to drizzle it around the outside. I didn't quite get enough on that first spoon, so I'm going to grab a little bit more and continue drizzling around the outside just to add some of the flavor around the plate. Alright, now let's try this meal out. First, we're going to cut off the tip of the carrot and take a bite, and it is perfectly cooked. It's got great flavor from the orange glaze, a little bit of spice, and I really can't say I would change anything about that. Man, that polenta is just perfect. You get some of the goat cheese flavor, it's rich, it's creamy, perfectly cooked. Nothing can beat that polenta. I actually like this better than mashed potatoes. After struggling to get it on my fork, I finally get a bite of the chicken, and it is delicious. Unbelievably juicy. You can taste each of the herbs. Stands out. With a meal like this, no wonder the red team won. Well, that was MasterChef Season 10, Episode 16. We recreated the herb chicken, roasted carrots, and creamy goat cheese polenta. Everything was delicious, and I want to thank everybody for watching.